been made somehow. If I had
Cactus Jim on the web, and I am doing a quick documentary, if you want to say it, on the URV, the Urban Reconnaissance Vehicle that myself and my son built over the last year. This is how it looks, and we'll get into some of the design a little bit later. We got a little power supply there. Here's the tablet notebook, tablet PC we got in there. That's Cactus Jim. Anyway, okay, so this is something kind of thought up years ago, actually. A few years ago, like I said, it started out with a desert reconnaissance vehicle. I wasn't going to mess with it till I moved out to the southwest. Said where nobody cares, but nevertheless, son saw it, said, hey, let's do this. This just gives you an idea of some of the effort that went into putting this thing together. I mean, you got some concept drawings here as to what we want it to look like and what elements need to go into it, how are we going to build it, etc. This is the exterior, little interior design work there. Take this off here. So it was a tremendous amount of work. You know, we thought about it, we thought it through. Sorry. This is the wiring diagram, which I had to change. I wired it up first. This is like a wiring diagram for the LEDs and the switches. So I went through that with my son. So it's an education for me, education for him. You know, the design elements. Here's some. You know, it's clearly it's a technical project, but it's clearly also an artistic project. This is some just brainstorming runes. These you know, quote unquote alien runes that I came up with. You know, I tried to go with a post-apocalyptic slash, you know, sci-fi vibe, but there you go. Here's the design elements for the tablet PC mount. That was a challenge. This is like third iteration in the end. This was an incredible amount of work. I started last summer, and I put on the rocket boosters, quote unquote rocket boosters. None of this stuff actually does anything, it just looks good, my opinion. And it's got LEDs and stuff like that. Point is that all of this stuff is actually bolted, securely bolted into the vehicle. So I had to rip out all the seats, open up all the panels, and attach this stuff. In addition to doing that, I had to run all the LEDs into there, and was done this summer. And again, went to the junkyard. I was going to, because I didn't know how to do metal work. I was going to get somebody to make it for me, but it was like $600 for a sheet metal guy to do it. I'm like, okay, and I got laid off. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to do it myself. So I went to the junkyard and I found, you know, by the grace of God or whatever, some beautiful panels of stainless steel that fit perfectly. And so I had to go about figuring out how to cut it out. I had to, you know, went through, you know, numerous sheet metal blades, cut it out, ground down the edges so it's not, so you don't get cut. I had to drill this out, cut each one of these. It was just an incredible amount of work. I closed the engine, but I wanted a three-dimensional look, so I put these standoffs, which are little aluminum tube that I cut, and so it's kind of, it gives it more of a three-dimensional look, so it's not just flat on there. Like these are aluminum, just sheet aluminum, extremely thin, paper thin, which is a whole nother challenge, because you try to cut these holes, you can't just cut them like that because it just crinkles up like paper, because it's pretty much paper thin. So so these are aluminum paddles, but these are stainless steel, which I cut, had the standoffs, had to cut all these little bolts, bolt it on there, drill it through. Surprisingly enough, you would think that, oh, it's easy, but it's different because of the ribbing of the internal of the cars. It's always a challenge. Some long bolts, some short bolts, some really long, really long bolts, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that was that. The other piece is these aluminum plates, like I mentioned before, and these were, since they're thin, I riveted them on, and that actually worked out really well instead of bolting, so I don't have to get behind there. But getting behind this, like this one I had to bolt on here. Of course, you had to take the tire off, pull out all kinds of stuff underneath there, get your arm under there. It's just absolutely insane. And again, these we put on before with the LEDs. Got LEDs, had to wire that up, put that in there again. This is a stainless steel plate that with standoffs. This one has standoffs, so those two on those sides have standoffs. This is another crazy just piece of aluminum engine part, and it just looks really cool, so I bolted it on there again. I had to get all in there. It's crazy. I had to bend. This is copper tubing that I bent and screwed in there and attached, etc. So an amazing amount of work. And from the other video you can see night shots. My neighbors are like, why are you laying underneath your car at 3 o'clock in the morning? You know, of course not making a lot of noise, but just brutal. So the other, from an aesthetic, artistic perspective, you know, once I did all this stuff, got everything on there, you know, tied everything into the electrical system. These are the switches that control the various lighting. This is for like the scoop light. This is actually just internal lighting, just for aesthetics. These are for the hood and the turbos, etc., etc. And I put a few. I'm not even looking at what I'm videoing. Real quick. You know, I added these in this summer. This is a little Garmin thing, my little, you know, GPS, etc. So these switches, I can't really see it, but there's two switches. There's two sets of LEDs in the turbos. One set of LEDs, I think the green or the red switch, I forget, will turn this on, and this will stay on like that. But then there's this big bright ring LED, as well as these three LEDs. That is controlled by another switch, which is turned on here, but it's pretty safe. I actually, would you shut up? Okay, excuse me. All right. There. Sorry. I put a little switch on the gas pedal. Doesn't interfere. It's very safety conscious with all of this stuff, but it doesn't interfere with the operation of any of the functionality. But there's a little contact there that when I step on the gas pedal, it turns on that big bright LED. So it's like when I accelerate, it's like acceleration. This gets really bright, and these three guys come on. So it's kind of like that. Of course, I can't actually run it at night. I've only been stopped by the cops 4 times. How you doing? How you doing? Sorry, I'm doing a little documentary on my thing. My new neighbors, hi. All right. Clearly, they already know I'm insane. But anyway, nice to meet you, though. All right. I'm sorry. I can't interrupt because I'm going to do this. It's a submission. Sorry. So anyway. So those are the things. Oh, so I was talking about the hieroglyphics, or whatever you want to call it, alien runes. Clearly, it's just an aesthetic touch. You know, these are something I went online, did a little research or whatever, just to get some ideas, see what was out there. But then, you know, just came up with some things, and this is actually, again, to give a full, you know, three-dimensional textured. This is actually caulk, so I like caulked this. Okay, I made a real big mistake because I caulked it with non-paintable caulk, so I had to paint it. I caulked it first of all, and then I painted it with primer, and then I had to paint it. So it took an incredible amount of time to paint all this, and of course it's coming off anyway, as you can see. So anyway, but this is it. This is a thing. So other thing, just real quick, we talked about the switches. This is a tablet PC. The intent is that, you know, I could play MP3s, because my old stereo didn't have MP3 player. Playing a little Incubus there. But it's got some issues. I mean, I like it. It's cool. I like, this is like a lamp. These three things were from a lamp, again, junkyard found, and so this can like move around. The intent was this, you can move it around, so the person that's, you know, obviously when you're driving, you're not going to be messing with it. But if you're a passenger, but it was heavier than I thought, so I had to put this support thing, and I had to put this other support bracket on there with the Velcro, you know, that this goes on and supports onto here, and with the rubber thing, it's a whole, you know, problem-solving challenge. And so it's fun. This one I may actually take off, unless you guys let me come to the fair. I'll keep it on there till then, but other than that, I'm going to take it off. But anyway, I gotta go. This is it. Jim Smith, Cactus Jim, the URV Urban Reconnaissance Vehicle. Thanks so much.